17 of the fantasy football season, and here's a few defense DST units. I have as sleepers this week. The first one, the Miami Dolphins. So the Dolphins here, it's been an up and down season for them. They started off hot, and now the last few weeks here, they've really fallen apart. But the only reason I recommend this defense this week here, that the New England Patriots, and we know this offense turns the ball over. We know they don't score a lot of points. And I think the Dolphins as a sleeper option could be decent. I'm not saying to go out there and get them in every league and put them in your lineup, but as a team you need in deeper leagues or something, they could be a use. Week 14 at the Chargers, 23 points allowed, 4 sacks. Week 15 at Buffalo, 32 points allowed, 2 sacks, a fumble recovery. And Week 16 versus Green Bay, 26 points allowed, 2 sacks, and an intro. So right now available in 76% of fantasy leagues here is this Miami Dolphin defense, and I think they can make a few plays in this one. Mac Jones, he hasn't been all that clean with the football this season here, and they're a team that needs this ball game badly is Miami, and I think they're going to have to win it on the defensive side, especially with Tua out this week. The next defense is the New York Jets, so the Jets right now have a decent matchup versus the Seattle Seahawks, even though I know they're going over there versus the 12th man in Seattle, but Seattle does give up the 13th most fantasy points to DSTs on the season, and this Jet defense is solid. The only thing with them is they don't create turnovers. So the last few games for the Jets, Week 14 at Buffalo, 20 points allowed, 3 sacks, a safety, a block kick. Week 15 versus Detroit, 20 points allowed, and Week 16 versus Jacksonville, 19 points allowed, a sack, and a fumble recovery. So right here, Tyler Lockett possibly could come back in this game. We know DK Metcalf's had another great season, and Kenneth Walker, we don't know if he's going to play for sure in this one, but I think this could be a defensive battle for the New York Jets a little bit in this one, where they can make a few plays, and if you need them in deeper leagues, they're available right now in 63% of leagues. And the third and final defense DST unit I have as a sleeper this week here is the Atlanta Falcons. So the Falcons, I know their defense really hasn't been good this season, but they're versus an Arizona Cardinal offense that definitely has struggled over the last few weeks. I know Colt McCoy's coming back in this ball game, but the Falcons are at home, and the Arizona Cardinals do give up the 8th most fantasy points. The defense is on the season, so the last few weeks here for Atlanta, nothing to be excited about, obviously. Week 13 versus Steelers, 19 points allowed. Week 15 in New Orleans, 21 points allowed, 2 sacks, a fumble recovery. And Week 16 in Baltimore, 17 points allowed and a block kick. So the points allowed, they've been pretty decent here over the last few weeks is Atlanta. But the thing that's the problem for them is getting turnovers and getting sacks. And hopefully this week, if you need to use them as a sleeper option, they could do that for fantasy owners. So right now, they're available in 96% of leagues. That's a few defense DST units I have as sleepers here for Week 17 of the fantasy football season.